Most of us have grown up with a very specific image of Jesus. Peaceful, passive, perhaps even a little distant. We're told that to follow him means obeying a set of rules, praying for salvation and hoping for divine intervention from somewhere out there. But what if I told you that there's a version of his teachings that flips that idea completely on its head? What if Jesus wasn't just preaching to the crowds, but sharing ancient mystical truths with a small inner circle? Truths that reveal not only the nature of reality, but your role as its co-creator. That's exactly what the Gospel of Thomas offers. Buried for over 1600 years, rediscovered in 1945, this extraordinary text doesn't read like a typical Gospel. There's no nativity scene, no crucifixion, no miracles in the usual sense. Just 114 raw, direct sayings attributed to Jesus. Teachings so bold and empowering, they were considered too dangerous for mainstream religion. Dangerous because they place the power not in the hands of a church, not in rituals or hierarchy, but within you. They say the kingdom of heaven isn't coming later. It's not waiting in the sky. It's within you, around you, available now if you learn how to perceive it. These sayings speak of the inner knowing that liberates us from fear, guilt, and spiritual dependency. They don't ask us to worship Jesus. They challenge us to become like him. And that, for those in power, was a problem. Because a person who recognizes a divine nature is free, and freedom doesn't fit easily into systems built on control.
That's right. And this isn't just a rebellious take on spirituality. It's a return to something much older, much purer, something rooted in the ancient understanding of energy, consciousness, and emotion. The Gospel of Thomas bridges the worlds of mystical spirituality and modern quantum insight. It describes in phonetic and symbolic terms how reality actually responds to your internal state. Take verse 3, for example. Jesus says, "If those who lead you say, 'See, the kingdom is in the sky,' then the birds of the sky will precede you. If they say it's in the sea, then the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside of you, and it is outside of you." What he's saying is that divine isn't somewhere else. It's not above you. It's not far away. It's now. It's here. And most importantly, it's you. When you know yourself, not just your personality, but your divine essence, you realize that you're the living presence of God in form. That's a powerful shift. It dismantles centuries of dogma in one sentence. And it's not just metaphorical. From a conscious perspective, it's literally true. Your thoughts and emotions are frequencies. They shape the electromagnetic field that surrounds you. And quantum physics tells us that this field influences the particles that make up the world around us. When Jesus says, "Make the two one," he's talking about harmonizing thought and emotion. Thought is the direction, emotion is the power. When the two become one, you don't ask for a better life, you create it. That's why the Gospel of Thomas is not a religious artifact. It's an instruction manual for manifesting reality.
And it's more timely now than ever. Think about how many people feel disconnected from each other, from themselves, from the world. We've been conditioned to believe that we're powerless, that we need to earn worthiness, that salvation comes from something or someone outside of us. But the Gospel of Thomas invites us to remember, you have had the power all along. Verse 106 says, "When you make the two one, you will say to the mountain, 'Move,' and the mountain will move." He's not talking about metaphorical inspiration here. He's talking about very real power of aligned consciousness. This is the same modern principle teachers like Neville Goddard taught. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You don't pray by asking. You pray by feeling as if it's already done. This is why some prayers feel like they go unanswered, because asking with words isn't enough. The universe doesn't speak English, it speaks energy. It responds to vibration. When you feel from the result, when your heart radiates the joy of already having your desire, you send out a very clear signal. And the quantum field mirrors it back. Ancient traditions knew this. Indigenous cultures practiced this. And the early followers of Jesus were being taught this before the message was edited down to obedience and repentance. Once you see this thread of truth, you can't unsee it. You realize how much of your divine birthright was hidden in plain sight.
And that begs the question, why was it hidden? Why weren't these teachings included in the Bible that we grew up with? The answer is both simple and sobering. In 325 AD, the Council of Nicaea was convened by Emperor Constantine. It wasn't just a theological gathering, it was a political strategy session. The goal was to unify Rome under a single controllable religion. That meant selecting texts that supported top-down power structure and discarding the ones that didn't. Over 40 books were either left out or heavily edited. And what got cut? The ones that suggested that you could access divine power directly, that you didn't need a church or an intermediary, that the kingdom was within. Think about that. Jesus' most empowering teachings, the ones that tell you how to speak the language of creation, were silenced, but not lost. Because now these gospels are resurfacing. And with them comes a shift in consciousness, a collective remembering that we are not separate from Source. We are individual expressions of it. And when we remember that, we stop asking for crumbs from the divine table. We sit at it.
Exactly. And the beauty of the Gospel of Thomas is that it doesn't give you a to-do list. It gives you awareness. It gives you the power to choose your state of being, moment by moment. And from that state, you influence the entire field of reality. Verse 50 says, "We came from the light. We are its children." That's not religious poetry. It's a declaration. Your origin is divine. Your essence is creative. And your awareness is the key. The more you embody that truth, not as a concept, but as a lived feeling, the more you shift your experience of life. You stop reacting to outer conditions and start designing them. You stop waiting for the kingdom and realize you're here to express there. So here's the invitation for you. Don't just believe, know. Don't just hope, feel. Don't just seek, become. You're not broken, you're not lacking, you're not waiting for permission. You are the light that has always been.
And maybe that's the real message that was too radical for religion and too powerful to remain hidden. Not that you should follow Jesus, but that you are capable of becoming what he became. Fully aware, fully present, fully conscious. The Gospel of Thomas isn't a historical curiosity. It's a call to awaken. So the next time you pray, don't beg, radiate. Don't plead, embody. Speak not from your lips, but from your heart, with thought and emotion as one. Because when you do that, you don't just move mountains. You remember that you are the mountain, and the light, and the kingdom, all in one.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If this sparked something in you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who's ready to remember their power. Drop your thoughts or questions in the comments. We'd really love to hear from you and what stood out in this video. And never forget, you're not just part of the story, you are the creator of it. So until next time, think differently, dream boldly, and create consciously.